Non-invasive learning method, or NILM, is a method of learning using experiences and tools and frameworks which do not invade a learner, which means a learner is not asked to learn, but learns out of an experience or out of a process of what is happening. This is an extremely important method of learning. Sometimes we also refer to it as experiential learning. Experiential learning is a narrow domain of non-invasive learning method, which is particularly out of experiences. When people are learning for subjects like environment or any multidisciplinary or transdisciplinary subjects, especially say corporate social responsibility, a non-invasive learning method or in this particular case experiential learning is extremely important.
6 semester at JGBS, we had the privilege to take this wonderful course, Ethics and CSR. Now, there was something which really stood apart for this course compared to the other courses. The basic fact being that this course actually embodied the motto of experiential learning, which a student should actually get from a course. So, it was very innovative. So, what we actually did is that Ethics and CSR is not a typical subject which you could actually study from a PPT or which you could actually study from books or a piece of paper. It's different. Ethics and CSR is not a subject like that. The only way to learn ethics and CSR is to actually go into the field, study the whole thing live, and experiential learning is the best way to learn this. Now, how did we do actually the experiential learning in ethics and CSR?
1, 2, 3, go.
So why do I say that ethics and CSR we had a chance for experiential learning? Because the course was structured in such a way that we would have the ability to actually do an experiential learning. All of us were given VI topics for the ethics and CSR. Other than that, there were many projects which actually required us to actually go to the target place. Like I remember examples of our team actually got a project on actually analyzing the safety and the social security in the parks in Delhi. So the project actually required us to actually visit the parks in actually Delhi and observe, is there security over there, is it a child friendly park right over there at Delhi. So all these things, what it happens is that it gives us an experiential learning.
So as a part of the course, we were required to work on 3 projects: the urban project, the rural project and the corporate project. For the urban project, we were required to license with 5 ministries, various institutions in and around Delhi and various schools. So the idea was to create resilience centers and to promote the developments in the urban areas and creating resilient neighborhoods.
Experiential learning teaches the students the competencies that they need for the real world success. They need to realize the actual situations which is happening outside and accordingly they find a solution to it. Experiential learning not only motivates the student but makes them the self learners and make them the leaders.
Based upon experiential learning, so as they stated, there was both individual project as well as a group project. In the group project, I was part of the corporate project. So in that, we basically had to liaison with the corporates and find out who the correct person was in the organization who dealt with this particular subject. So one fact which I found which was rather interesting is that even though a lot of information is available out there, it's important to realize and ask the correct questions.
Essentially, we are emphasizing on how learning by doing helps us, and through this, in our class, we have done various projects which all integrate into community building and resilience formations in a particular region.
Yeah, so we had all done different topics. I had done on the backwaters of Kerala or the ecotourism. We had Vivi who has done a topic from Raipur, near Raipur, and Mayuk had done on Calcutta. Reddy had done on the different CSR intentions for banks, and Sohil had done on Amaravati.
So all this basically, we have done all these various topics to understand situations and people's problems in various contexts, and in a whole, in totality, to build resilience in a neighborhood and to make people self-sufficient and build capacities for them so that they can face any kind of situations.
Examples were given, they were real life examples, they were not fictional. So we got to learn many different things. Like I'll give you an example about construction in Raigad. The city, it is fully self-sufficient, like it has everything, how it will treat water, how the electricity will be treated, how the garbage will be treated. So the entire city, it is self-sufficient. Like it won't be needing anything from outside to become self-sufficient.
Part of this course, we were given both group projects as well as individual projects. So one of the projects that was given to me was a business intelligence report. The topic of water quality in my area, in my locality, which is Gulmohar Park, which is in one of the colonies in South Delhi. And this is simply experiential learning, because what I did as a part of creating that BI report was I actually went to 15 residents. I interviewed them if they had any idea about the safety of water, and this kind of experience would have not been enhanced in me through just a book or maybe notes.
CSR class has always been more of experiential learning. So rather than discussing PPTs and doing readings, it was more about discussing about our individual experiences and what we know of interventions, issues around us. I was given to survey the air quality in my area. So even likewise as what Siddhant had to do, even I visited residencies and asked people about what their view about the air quality in the area is. And I was surprised to know that even though when people knew that the air quality is really bad, it's not actually feasible to step out of the house. It is not advised to step out of the house without a mask. People still would prefer to keep a air purifier at their place, whereas they're ready to spend heavy amounts on spending on things like other luxury goods.
To increase the resilience. In our class, we had done different projects. The project I had done was on ecotourism, backwater ecotourism in Kerala. So, as we were given topics from different states, we got information about different areas and fields, which had helped us learn deeper. But if we were confined to just learning within the classroom of what is there inside, as in the information in the textbook, our experiential learning wouldn't be this great.
When we're talking about experiential learning, we're not just emphasizing on going out. It is relating to the concept, the context and the situations. So even when we talk about anything, it is important that we relate to the situation of the people that are there in that actual place, and then think about it and craft any intervention.
And the big retrospect you could say is that even in the Indian school of education, you could see in the olden days, the disciples would actually go to the forest and would actually study close with their guru. So it was actually a form of experiential learning which happened in the start of the Indian era. And now it's the same, it's kind of a same method but a little modernized what we do in our class. So experiential learning has definitely helped us to learn this.
Social resilience is the ability of society to be able to adjust and to cope with threats while coming together as one single unit. And as a part of our experiential learning, we have taken out a short survey on neighborhood resilience for improving the living standards of people living within our local area. And this survey will be further used by us as a primary data for our research paper.
Experiential learning is the only way you could actually go into the nook and corners of the subject. So only if we go into that depth that we actually realize the whole thing, what is CSR about, what is ethics in CSR about. So definitely experiential learning has played a huge part in getting us to know that.
The idea of experiential learning is it has many facets. But one objective is that students are young, they have the energy. And one outcome of learning just cannot be to get a particular grade. It has to also move our human endeavors to a particular direction. So what we did was, there's a lot of people who were not just getting assessed on a repetitive framework. They were all doing different things, just like real life. And they were all trying to achieve a particular outcome. This objective of the project, a real life project, and all of them contributed differently to that project. That project was on to figuring out a resilience framework. for neighborhoods in Delhi NCR. So given the complexity of the situation, people here can interact and they can ask each other questions on what you're doing, and they will then understand the complexity of creating social resilience. And social resilience or ecological resilience is part of, say, complex interventions when you're looking at environmental studies or you're looking at corporate social responsibility. So learning complex subjects like environment or corporate social responsibility, if we can create a platform, an experience or an experiential learning method, then it will do a lot of good to humanity at the end. Thank you.